everybody. Thank you for joining the stream. I will be getting started here in just a few minutes. Hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. Is everybody able to hear me okay? See, we have a few questions in the chat. Frank, I do plan to get to the suburbs at some point. I'm just focusing heavily on the downtown at first. And Mr. Harry's, I might be teasing those a little bit today. It's not the main focus of today's build for the stream, but I am very excited to start working on Kodak Park. Sukaboa, welcome. Hey, Demetrius, welcome. Alright, thanks for joining everybody. It's been a while since I've been in the game. I took a little bit of a break, but really excited to get back into it. Today we're in Rochester. For anyone that joined the previous holiday stream, we were working on Pittsburgh a little bit in that one. But most of all, I was just kind of chatting with the community and getting to know some of the viewers. I want this to be an opportunity, if you want to chat about the cities that I'm working on or city skylines, feel free to hop in the chat and I'll try to respond to as many questions that I have, that I see in the chat. But today, my main goal is to work on these government buildings over here. So these Monroe County government buildings is the main focus of today's stream and today's build. Now I have it also on Google Earth here, just showing it off real quick. Today, I really want to try to accomplish some work on this Monroe County Hall of Justice, the Sheriff's Office back here, and the Monroe County Jail. And it looks like we've got some other, government-style buildings, public safety, Rochester Fire Department. We've got this really interesting civic plaza right here in the middle of this courtyard. Hey, thanks Zukobo, it's great to be back. But yeah, that's kind of the main goal for today, so I'm just going to take it slow and see what we can get done. Now, hopefully, you all enjoy this little cutout I have in the top right here, just showing off kind of what we're working on in Google Earth. But today, I'm planning on starting out with some of these assets by room mic. These warehouse assets do pretty well to copy these windows that I'm looking for. I may just need to adjust the size and color of these buildings a little bit. Yeah, I've been excited for this build for a little while. This is not one that I was really expecting to be able to make into a video, but I'm hoping that it translates well over to this stream. Michigan build? So there's some cities in Michigan that I would definitely be interested in building. But unfortunately, these two cities take up most of my time right now, and I'm not planning on taking on new projects at the moment. But one day, when I do have more time, and if there is a second game that comes out, looking forward to a potential City Skylines 2, if that game is able to take on a larger city, I would love to take on something like Detroit. I think it would also be cool to see some of those hypothetical plans for Detroit that never, got to see, or never sought out to like fruition, But yeah, at this moment, I'm just focusing on these two cities. Right now, I'm just kind of looking back and forth at Google Earth here to try to line this up in the right spot. This is a lot of the stuff that gets cut out in the main videos. NYC, NYC is just a lot to take on. I do have some recommendations though. I Am Pie and I Think those are two creators that are working on NYC builds that are just spectacular. I definitely recommend checking them out if you haven't seen those creators yet. Hey, welcome. It's nice to see some familiar faces back here. It has been a while since I've been in the game, so excited to chat with everybody again. Now there, I'm just kind of merging those vertices together because I want this 4 stack of windows. Just show that off here in Google Earth as well. It's not a perfect copy, but I think this will do the job. And I want to use these assets by roommate because I really enjoy these warehouses. Now I'm just kind of hiding these stairs inside of the building, making sure to grab just the vertices that I need. This, of course, is always a little bit of trial and error. Sometimes it's better to grab less than more, just go at it piece by piece. Second tallest building in Detroit. Oh, I need to check that out. I usually, so I follow like channels like the B1M because I really love like architecture, construction, stuff like that. I didn't even know that there was a such thing as the Hudson site. I'll definitely have to check that out. Getting these weird windows in the middle here, I think there's a bit of, I guess this building is a bit asymmetric, so I'm just gonna grab these and hide these smaller windows. And bring them in just a little bit into the building. Reading Mr. Harry's. Let's see. Those warehouses were built by the government before World War II with 2 purposes. Oh, that's cool. Mail storage and storage for smaller local companies. Yeah, I don't know too much about the history about these. That's cool. That's kind of what I'm looking for out of that first building right here. Does the job. And now, just gonna go ahead and make this a group. I want to bring these two both down a little bit, so I hit copy first. That allows me to use the H key just to get my original height. Now, what I need to do for these, they have this kind of beige color, so I'm just going to go in the text customization tool. And this might be a little bit sloppy at first, we'll see. Yeah, I don't want to cover those windows. Transparent and small icons. Yes, that's from, that's all from one mod actually. That's yet another toolbar. It allows you to customize all of that. It's really nice for if you're making videos, because I like a less intrusive look. You can add transparency to all the menus and I think UI scaling is another mod that just allows you to make it a lot smaller. Hey, glad to have you, Zukaboa. Moch, yes, I'm excited for that transit center. For those of you that don't know, Moch is working on a asset for Rochester. They started the bus transit, it's kind of like this transit center, transit hub downtown. I'll show it off real quick. Let me make it a little bit larger here. But it's this, I guess on Mortimer Street, is that the name of it? Yeah, it's just this transit center right in the middle of downtown. So very excited to see what they come up with that. I know that they're trying to get buses actually go through it. So if they're able to pull that off, that'd be a really cool asset. But no matter what, excited to see what happens with that. That'll be a key part of the public transit infrastructure downtown. So a way that instead of a color square to add a texture file, there is a way to add texture files into PO, but I think it applies to the entire PO. If anyone knows of a way to prevent that from happening, let me know, because that's something I've definitely been wanting to do with PO. Hoping that maybe an update one day comes along with that functionality. Because as you can see, if the texture, the diffuse file, which is what I'm covering right now, it's what gives like the asset color. That's what I'm covering up to make this building a little bit like darker gray, darker white, as you see. But yeah, as far as I know, there's no way to do this with like a texture over top. It just kind of, it would cover the windows and every part of the asset the same texture, and that's not what I'm looking for. That would make things a lot easier, though. Yeah, this is actually can be quite tedious. Might as well start getting the right color. I want this grayish, and I'm going to make that opacity a little bit lower. So around 85 is good, just to make sure you get the actual texture coming through. Yeah, I definitely recommend those mods, Demetrius. RTS Transit Center, thank you. Yeah, the name escaped me. I didn't even know, yeah, I didn't know that there was a older transit station there. That's cool. And this is why I usually do it off camera from the episodes. This can take a little bit of time just to complete. As you can see, I'm slowly going through this building. I've got quite a bit left to go. See if I can get a few pieces at a time here. Just trying to avoid the windows if I can. Copy the object, take the vertices. Oh, you know, that's... that could work. Yeah, that's smart. No, thank you for the recommendation. I'll have to mess around with that. Once I'm finished with this, I'm hoping I can just copy it up and keep all the color, so I don't have to do this all over again. Yeah, that's kind of the whole thing about PO. It's definitely a measure of patience. There's some shortcuts and some ways to make things go by a little bit quicker, but you know, this is just one building, and kind of what goes into making these like ultra, I guess you'd say like ultra realistic builds. But it's usually worth it in the end. You know, I could have found maybe an asset with the same, like the color I'm looking for, but just really customizing this, and getting like the exact shape, size, color, it does make a difference in the end. But yeah, definitely, it takes some time. Stuff with the vertices is definitely tedious, though. Because, you know, even with Control-Z undo, it's, you make a mistake, it can really mess up what you're working on. I think I'm actually done with this. Just a few more left maybe back here. But I can fix that up a little bit later. Yeah, of course. Shake, yeah, I was happy to be able to share all that video. I hope it helped people get their graphics in order. That's another thing with this game that can be so tedious, working with those menus. There's just so many of them. Now, if I'm lucky, hopefully I can just do this again. Looks like it's going to work out. Yeah, it's really finicky with decals. Sometimes when you try to enlarge them, I find, yeah, most of them don't like it. Doesn't like to work with that. Definitely some quirks with PO. Let's see here. I want this to be right about here. Now I can just hide this bottom part here. Once you merge those instead of a line, I think I might have grabbed a little bit too many there. Yeah, PO can definitely be overwhelming. I noticed that Accurus, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, he released a new PO tutorial, and it seems like really thorough. I haven't got a chance to watch it all yet, but I'd definitely check that out if you're, you know, you kind of have a little bit of PO under your belt and you're just trying to learn all the features. It seems to cover just about everything. It would be nice just to have that functionality. Yeah, Mr. Harry's decals just add so much detail. They're one of my favorite like detailing tools. If you're trying to take your build just to the next level, I definitely recommend using more decals. They really work well to blend areas and just add those like extra bits of realism. You know, you got your tire marks, all the way to things like leaves and stuff like that. That looks just about good right there. Again, with these kind of asymmetric windows. Let's see if I can just... That's something I can hide. Probably something I have to figure out later. I've been working on this one building for a very long time. Appreciate that, Demetrius. Yeah, it's a little bit older of a tutorial now, but that's if you are looking to just see like the very basics. it's a good place to start. I actually learned some tricks to do things a little bit easier since I made that video. I should probably post an update to it at some point. I've been a big fan of using the distort tool lately after I watched a video by, I think it's the Phoenician. They had a PO tutorial that I also recommend. Taught me a few tricks that I didn't realize. Big time savers. There's one building kind of in a good spot. I want to leave that alone for now and start focusing on this courtyard. Looks like we've got a multi-tiered courtyard once again. Worked on one of those on another side of the city. Let me make this large again. So this courtyard really reminds me, in the most basic way, it reminds me of this one over here that I completed in the not the latest Rochester video, but the one before. So we've got this like multi-tiered park. I know right off the bat, I want to use probably the surface networks or surface assets by Ronic 69, just to raise the terrain up here in the middle. And then probably going to use some of these Japanese stair assets to build this out. But this should be a pretty fun and challenging build. I've been looking forward to taking this on for a little bit, so probably just give it a stab right now. Let's see, I like to use Google Earth to just measure out the elevations to get an idea. So on the street level here, we've got 153 meters. Looks like it goes up by 2 meters, and then another 2 to get to the top here. So these are like halfway, like 1 meter, and then another to get up to the top. But in total, we've got, looks like 4 meters of elevation change. It's always nice when things kind of round out like that. Round numbers. The techie background music. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what's playing right now. I'm not able to hear it, but I just kind of have a rotation of different music that I use in my videos. So I hope you guys enjoy the little soundtrack we've got going today. Pedestrian bridge, that's the name of the asset I'm looking for. Now these are 3 meters. We've also have this 6 meter variant here. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the 2 meter, I'm sorry, the 3 meter one. So this, I wanted to shrink it down to 2 meters. So if my math is right, I should just be able to bring this down to 0.66. And that looks about right. Now let me line this up with Google Earth. So this is a little bit left of this crossroad here, Court Street. So I want to keep that in mind as I'm building this. Now this is the distort tool that I was just mentioning a little bit earlier when I said that I found easier ways to do things. Instead of messing with the customization tool, this works really well if you just have to make simple adjustments to shapes of objects. This along with the general tool will allow me to do pretty much everything I need here to these stairs. Now, this terrain, I don't really want to mess with it. I'd rather just kind of fake it with different surface assets. So I'm going to go into my terrain tools here. I'm just going to flatten this out and deal with that later. If you watch the videos, you probably know by now I'm not a big fan of the terrain in this game and how it works. It can be really difficult to mess around with, so it's easier just to kind of detail it out with assets. But that should be good. Just cover everything I need here. Hello, Just John. Welcome to the stream. And then, let's see. Match up the rotations of these two. There are probably easier ways to do that, but got lucky that it kind of lined up. Hey, welcome. Yeah, I love, so I did one of these holiday streams back in December and really enjoyed it. It's nice to be able to kind of talk to the community, and especially those that, you know, watch the videos and may not, you know, comment so much. It's nice to finally be able to interact. But yeah, if you have any questions or anything, definitely feel free to ask. I want this to be an interactive stream. I do have something that I'm working on here in the background, but really wanted this to be just a chance to interact with the community, those that have been watching the videos. How many assets am I currently subscribed to? That's a good question. I think I just hit around 8,000. So for some of you that might sound like a ton of assets, and it definitely is, but that's actually pretty lean for a project like this. I used to be subscribed to almost double that, 16,000 when I was doing San Francisco and larger cities. But just to keep things running, this game, the performance does not do so well when you have that many assets. So I try to keep it as lean as possible nowadays. And 8,000 assets seems to be kind of the sweet spot for the amount of RAM I have. So I really only subscribe to new things when I know I'm going to use them, if they really have a purpose in the city. Yeah, no, absolutely. I love these Rust Belt cities, and that's a big part of why I wanted to start doing these city skylines, like showcases for these cities. Sometimes they're, you know, maybe a little bit less, what's the word? Lesser known. They don't, you know, get the attention that larger cities in the Midwest would get, you know, like Chicago or stuff like that. Especially the northeastern cities, they get a lot of focus, but it's really nice to get comments, you know, from people that say, you know, I never would have been interested in a city like Pittsburgh or Rochester until I saw the videos. It's really cool to shed light on these cities. I definitely think they're underrated and yeah, I'd say improving for sure. You know, they definitely went through a period of decline. That's what gives them a little bit of extra character, in my opinion. Shake, I have 64 gigabytes if I didn't mention it. But yeah, I definitely agree. Around that amount it's just kind of the sweet spot. I saw a guide out there somewhere before about how many assets you should have for the RAM amount. But yeah, I mean, with a page file, you can extend it a bit, but the more assets you have, it inverse with the performance of the game. Kai, I'm glad you appreciate the Easter eggs. Yeah, I try to do a little bit of that, especially in these episodes that I put out. I have a few in Pittsburgh as well, and yeah, I'm glad you appreciate those. It's fun. I love adding little details like that for the locals. But yeah. Now that I have this about 4 meters up, if you missed it earlier, I lowered this terrain to kind of ground level here where the street is, and I'm going to fake this elevation change with some networks, some surface assets. So I'm going to start doing that now. 120 gigabyte page file. I think I have just about the same size. It's pretty ridiculous. It's funny how this game pushes computers. I think it's one of the only reasons why you would need 64 gigabytes for anything. At least for a video game. And the page files too, just the little tricks you have to use to really optimize the game. It's funny. So now I'm using these RAS surface assets by Ronix69. These are really PO friendly. So I can kind of fake this elevation change here. That looks pretty good to me. Just for these side parts of the stairs here. I'll drag that to the other side as well. And that looks like it goes actually quite a bit beyond the intersection here. So I'm going to just duplicate that, see where that brings us. Checking out the chat here real quick. From Detroit, I've been working on collecting assets to match the city's neighborhoods. Yeah, not too many like Detroit specific assets, especially for the suburbs. That's a tough one. Yeah, I wonder if anyone is thinking about making like Detroit assets, because I know it's a somewhat popular city to see, you know, recreated or stylized in city skylines, and it does have that kind of unique housing style. You of course have your skyscrapers and your flagship buildings for the city. Some historical ones as well, if I remember right. But yeah, it's hard to build a city unless you have like the specific home assets, because then, you know, you can just kind of copy and paste different homes, but it just doesn't look right. Eclectic suburbs. Yeah, the bungalows. Yeah, George, 100%. It's funny. The mods for this game, it must be, I'm pretty new to PC, so I know, like, one of the draws, other than City Skylines, to bringing me over to PC was the mod community. And it's just so extensive for this game. It's really cool to see, but yeah, people to this day, this game's from 2014, 2015-ish, being absolutely pushed to the limit by the modding community, and it's cool that there's such a big community for like assets too, really allowing people to make cities however they want. I play this game probably a little bit differently than most people do. There's definitely like a subsection of detailers, like heavy detailers and realistic city builders, but it's a completely different game from the vanilla game, for sure. It's more of just kind of like city painting, and that's what I love from this game. It's cool how everybody has kind of their own different way that they play the game. Now this one I want to drag over just like I did on the other side. And maybe just a little bit over too. Maybe another 6 meters. Now I can start to put in some walls, and that'll make this look a little bit more complete. I'll hop into Street View here for a second. And I'll enlarge this so everybody can see it on the screen a little bit better too. I want to start working on these concrete walls here to separate the different layers or levels that you see in this park. That's my next kind of objective here. It looks like we've got some fences too, so I'll have to keep that in mind. Detroit National Bank building. I'll have to look that up later. I don't know that one off the top of my head. Is that one of the historic ones? The multi-level park, I'm going to try to make it usable for The Sims when I'm finished here. It's a little bit of extra work, but there's a few tricks that make it quite a bit easier. I'm seeing if I can just do this with props first, if I have any kind of concrete wall looking props. This might be nice for the top layer. Has a little bit of detail at the top. I'd like to see that. Yeah, this looks like the best bet right here. That's tall enough. Hopefully I can go with that one. Hey Sarge, welcome. Glad you're able to make the stream. Looks like I might have to... Hopefully I can make this... Yeah, perfect. Make this a bit larger. That's a trick from one of the updates to Prop Anarchy. So you can actually use Move It now to make different props and decals larger or smaller. And that's just using the period and comma keys. It's a new hotkey for Move It. Unfortunately, it doesn't keep the size when you copy and paste it. So it's almost better to save it for last. Yeah, glad you're able to make it. I was saying a little bit earlier, it's nice to see some familiar faces in the stream. Now, if I can just grab one of these. And that might be a little bit too long. Let me take a check here. Okay, I see what's going on here. So this should be a little bit forward and actually meet up with the stair right here. And that should do it. Right there, I'll just have to bring these surfaces out. Move it stopped keeping the color of props when you copy them? Oh no, really? I didn't know that. Is that, I wonder if that's an issue with one of the new updates. I didn't even know that, yeah. Hopefully I can just kind of do this easily. I have to bring this into this one a bit. And that should do it. Taking a second to look at these dimensions here. Looks like I need to make this a little bit wider, like further setback. This looks good to me. I think it just needs to be adjusted here. Hey Nally, welcome. And this is another perfect time for the distort tool. The general tool wouldn't allow me to just drag this the same way. This will be a little bit easier. And that looks pretty good to me. Might even drag these back again, just a little bit. But again, if you're just joining, I'm working on this civic plaza. It's kind of the civic center courtyard, is what it's called. Just another multi-level park. I finished up one of the Monroe, it's the Monroe County Hall of Justice a little bit earlier in the stream. I should just hop into procedural objects here. Grab these two. But I'm kind of working on these like government buildings here. Slowly going through and lining everything up. Kind of how I see it in real life, the best I can. I'm going to use this kind of cleaner concrete wall for the bottom here. And that works just fine. I like that. Looks like we've got a ramp going up here too, so I'll have to keep that in mind. Hey Shake, I'm glad you enjoy watching stuff like this. Yeah, I hope this is not too tedious for anyone. I know this is just a lot of procedural objects work, but it's fun to be able to show off kind of everything that goes into it. Not really able to do this in the videos, because most of the stuff will get cut for the sake of time, just trying to keep the editing clean, short videos, of course. It's been a while since I played, so I'm actually forgetting the name of the asset I need here. This is, oh, okay, it's by Robble. This is what I'm looking for. But yeah, it's nice to show a little bit of the behind the scenes, you know, what goes into these builds. Show it off a little bit larger here. So I've got this round building that's connected to the Hall of Justice. And I'm just trying to get this lined up in the right spot here. Just match up the rotations so I can drag this over. This a bit smaller too. Yeah, I'm glad it's helpful. If you have any questions, feel free, you know, to jump in anytime. Whether it's about PO or anything I'm doing in the build, I'll be happy to explain, you know, kind of my thought process, what I'm doing here. I'll try to explain the best I can as I'm building as well, but yeah, if I miss anything, let me know. This has a flat roof, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that out of the way. For that, I'm just kind of lining up my camera so it's right along the x-axis of this asset. Let's see what merge does. I don't like the black circle in the middle here that I'm seeing, so instead I'm going to grab this and hit flatten selection, and I should be able to hide that underneath almost. See a little bit of texture glitching there. I want to avoid that as well. So in this case, I may just need to do this piece by piece. Take a little bit extra time, but it'll be worth it. So I'm just going through and flattening them all one by one. Oh, thank you. Yes, I did leave the Google Earth view up. My mistake there. And the real-time mod that's an interesting one. I've never really played around with it. I'll have to test it out a bit and see what the performance impacts are. If it doesn't affect the performance too much, it might be interesting to see. Also, I want to make sure that's not one of those mods that you can't come back from. There's some that you can install, and once you save it with that mod, it kind of breaks the game if you ever want to not use that mod. The East High School. I don't believe so. I can show off what I've done so far in just a moment here, but I've mostly just been working downtown. Justin, any areas I'm excited to revitalize? I do want to see what the plans are in store for this block over here. I'll take a quick break from the build, but I do know that this block, which is right now just parking, one of the Rochester locals in our Discord group, he let me know that they're going to be building, I think, some high-density, high-rise apartments here, maybe some mixed uses. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's going to be redeveloped away from parking, which I'm definitely excited to see. Chase, yeah, I'm sure you're excited to see some familiar sights. Hopefully I can get out of the city here soon and really start building more of the city. That's one of my favorite things to do when I'm building, mostly in Pittsburgh so far, because I've just built more of that city out. It's always cool when people are like, hey, I can see my house. But this is what I've built so far. Area-wise, it's not too much, as you can see. I think we're on episode 6 or 7 for the series. But I've just been taking things really slow and detailing as much as possible. In the first episode, I kind of just built the map. And then, you know, that's mostly just filling out the rivers and getting a feel of the landscape here. Did some minor detailing of like just placing some trees down to get the feel of what I'm looking at here. Second episode, I went over to downtown and I started building out this inner loop expressway. The inner loop is this kind of, you can almost call it a legacy freeway system nowadays because there are plans in place, the city to replace it. But it was built during kind of the freeway, the whole expansion age for that kind of infrastructure. They built this looping freeway through the core of downtown. You can see it on this open street map view. It just kind of cuts through the northern side of downtown, and it actually used to be a complete loop here until very recently it was redeveloped. I haven't gotten to that area of the city yet, but eventually I do plan on, of course, building everything that's been built in the footprint of the prior Inner Loop Expressway. A lot of condos and I think some commercial as well were built in this old freeway scar, as you would call it. Yeah, that's another area that I'm excited to revitalize, going back to Justin, going back to your question there. It'll be cool to see what the city ends up doing with the inner loop here. And they have 6 proposed ideas for what to do with it. I'm hoping to go with one of those and try to keep it as realistic as possible. I am a big fan of, I think it's proposal number 6, which is one of the more radical proposals they had. So with that, what they're trying to do is actually remove the inner loop completely and restore the old city grid. And I think that could do a lot for revitalizing this north side of the city and bringing it more connected into the downtown core. Because no one really wants to, you know, walk over a 4-lane freeway, 5-lane freeway, or whatever like this. If it's connected into the city grid again, that'll do wonders for bikeability and walkability in the north side of the city. Behold Rochester's one roundabout. Yes. Haven't quite gotten to the detailing here, but it's quite the roundabout. And you've also got this kind of small one here, if it counts, right by the, I forget the name of the building. I know it's owned by Ernst & Young now. But if someone in the chat knows the name of that tower, let me know, because I forget. It's one that I am actually trying to get commissioned at some point. The theme I use is SCT Homecoming. I have a few themes, but yeah, SCT Homecoming by Rafa, definitely recommend that. Sasquatch, yeah, the cars are extremely slow. I play the game on, I think, 0.15 speed. Helps keep the performance a little bit better and keep the frame rate a little bit higher. But yeah, here's kind of the city grid as it is so far. I apologize for this building, just keep popping in and out to its terrible LOD. But yeah. Any asset types you're missing in your projects? So with that's a good question. I like to do as much as I can in PO, but there are a few buildings that are just so iconic for these cities that, you know, it'd be kind of doing a disservice to not have them commission created. I'll show some of those off here. You know, one of them is, of course, the Times Square building. This is actually your asset, but you know, it's just one of those buildings that really makes up the whole, I guess, skyline for the city. The spire, the old Art Deco style, it's not something that I would be able to recreate with PO. So that's like the key example of what I would want to commission for the city. Another building like that is this Rochester, I think it's City Hall. Forgive me, everyone, it's been a little while since I've been in these cities, so I might forget some of the names of these buildings, but this City Hall over here is also another one that's just so unique. It would be cool to see this recreated, and I do have plans to get this commissioned, so stay tuned on that one. But this is the one I was talking about before. Just these really unique kind of skyscrapers. I took a stab at this myself. I was trying to teach myself like 3D like asset modeling in Blender, but it was a little bit beyond my skill level. So that's another one that I'm looking to have created for the city. And then if you, I guess, I don't want to spoil anything too much here, but I do have some other commission ideas in view. But yeah, it's just like this 5-star bank. This is something that I'd probably do in PO. If anything, it might be cool to get the sign commissioned, but because it's just a simple international style skyscraper, at least I believe it's international style, it's something that I would want to take on in PO. But another example of something I might want to commission is this Sibley Square. Got this, I think, looks like it's just like different retailers at the bottom, might be mixed use. Yeah, it looks like there's lofts up top, convenience stores at the bottom, stuff like that. That might be cool to see actually fleshed out with a proper asset. Yeah, Paul, Kodak Tower is nearly complete. That's one that Gilded Age, really talented asset creator, he was working on that for me. Really excited to show that off in the next episode of Rochester. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, that's just something I put together for the last episode of City Skylines Rochester. That's City Hall. I'll show that off again here. Hopping back into game, but yeah, I did my best with it. It still would be cool to see something like the actual building commissioned, but for now I'm really happy with the detail I was able to pull off, just kind of mashing a few assets together. The vehicles are so slow because I set my play at speed to 0.15, and I do that just to keep the frame rate higher. Most of my videos I speed them up quite a bit to just make them feel a little bit snappier, but I found a realistic speed is more like 35. Hey, not done yet. Welcome to the stream. Speaking of department stores. Okay, yeah, I'll have to check that out, that mall, when I get to it. Cities by Diana, welcome, welcome. Trying to catch up with the chat here a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't have time for big assets, but I can make something small. Yeah, I'll get in contact with you. I have a short list of assets that I need. I want to make a Google Drive or a Google Forms type of thing here, spreadsheet. Make it a little bit easier for commissions. But yeah, I'll definitely be in touch with you soon. It would be cool to see Sibley Square back as it was as a full department store. That is something I need to look up for the history. That sounds interesting. Sarge, right now I have to say I'm enjoying Rochester. It's been a fun build. I'm having fun really taking my time with it and detailing a lot heavier than I do in Pittsburgh. But there are definitely moments where I like Pittsburgh better. Starting to work on the Lawrenceville neighborhood now, and I'm really enjoying that. Joy, welcome. Yeah, it feels normal to me too, Diana. I keep it right at 0.15 whenever I play, and I enjoy the slower pace of it at this point. It takes a while to get used to, but it's nice having that like clean frame rate. I'm gonna bump it back down just because I like the slower camera movement. Okay, Mr. Harries, I'll have to check that out. Thank you. Yeah, hopping back into what I'm working on in this stream. I'm just taking on this Civic Center Courtyard and some of these civic buildings, Monroe County Hall of Justice, and later on the Sheriff's Office, the County Jail, Fire Department. But yeah, if anyone has any questions as I'm working on this, I'm happy to kind of hop back in the chat. Yeah, just taking things slow today and getting some work done in Rochester that may not be well suited for a video. Going through here and just flattening these out. Yeah, I've got this texture glitching again. So sometimes it's just a matter of going through these very slowly. Sometimes you can grab things from a different angle. But this is one of the more difficult assets, it seems. At least for what I'm trying to do. Probably tell I'm a little bit rusty too. It's been a while since I've been in game. But I think I'm happy with that for now. I might put a circular kind of surface asset above it. Just hide those extra blemishes here. But I do want to lower this because this would stick out. These kind of aircon units here. But now I should be able to just grab one of these like pavement or asphalt surfaces. That should do the job. Matching rotations here using Control R. works. What city do I want to build after Pittsburgh, Rochester? That's a good question. I have a few cities on my short list. Trying to keep things with the Rust Belt theme. Some highly requested cities are cities like Cincinnati and Cleveland, some of the Ohio cities. And their cities, it really depends. You know, everybody's kind of anticipating City Skylines 2 to come out at some point. You know, I obviously don't have any word on when that might be, but that kind of would change my plans if it does. You know, if there are plans for that game to come out and it is like a higher level of performance, I would love to take on some larger cities as well, stuff like Detroit, maybe Philadelphia. But I do want to keep with the Rust Belt theme, revitalization, stuff like that. Yeah, Chase, definitely take it on. It's really cool to work on something that you're familiar with. And when things like start to come together, that's the best part. It really is rewarding, in my opinion. Again, I'm hitting copy here when I move these in PO, and that just allows me to hold Control H, and that brings them to the original height, so that way I don't have to mess with heights later on. And Katina, I do use Cube Map Replacer and AD Clouds. Cube Map Replacer has been having some issues. With the new updates, I think you need to be subscribed to Fog Controller for it to work. But of course, the different settings from Fog Controller are now they're included in Render It. So you're kind of using somewhat outdated or at least redundancy with mods there to be able to achieve both AD Cloud Replacer and the Cube Map Replacer. But yeah, that's just the only way that I know of how to get those to work together nowadays. Christopher, welcome. Yep, Carl, we're working on some civic center buildings here, and just kind of join the chat, and yeah, if anyone wants me to show off anything else in the city, let me know as well. Gary, Indiana, yes. Maybe one day. That's one. It's definitely got some opportunity for revitalization. Let's just say that. Buffalo would be a good choice too. That's another Western New York City that it's kind of fitting into the same role as Rochester or Pittsburgh. A little bit of an underrated mid-sized city. Would be interesting to see. Yeah, I would love to do Philadelphia. The waterfall took me, oh geez, probably, I want to say like 6 hours, maybe more. Using different procedural objects and props. I'll show it off in Google Earth here too. But yeah, that was a super fun build. One of the main reasons that I was drawn to this city, like aesthetically, something that I think it's one of the coolest downtown waterfalls maybe in the whole world. Not often that you see a waterfall like this in the middle of a city. But I knew it was going to be a really fun challenge to take on in this game, especially with how difficult water is. So that was one of the main reasons why, at least for the design of the city and how it looks, you know, cinematics later on when I was planning, this waterfall is one of the major reasons why I decided to take on the city. Opposed to something like Buffalo or another city that's more like flat, less geographic features like that. Thank you. Yeah, the Steam is a PO module, Steam effect. I think it's effects module. But yeah, it adds that extra little detail to really bring the realism, bring it alive. Now, looking at this again, looks like I'm actually going to bring this in a little bit, because we've got a ramp here that I need to build. One easy way to do that is just with these black assets. Actually made too many here. So I'm going to make this a PO. And doing this in PO makes it a little bit easier because I can just kind of mess with the angles and get the right size of it right off the bat. So in the distort tool, I can grab these 4 and bring it to exactly where I want it to. Line these up. Thank you, Bland Malls Corp. Yeah, that was a really fun build. One of my favorite for the series so far. Now you see I'm getting this little elevation change, starting the actual ramp here. Now I can just copy and paste that. And line it up to where I want it to be. Now I just need to get these two to meet. So again, distort tool makes that pretty easy. Just get these two kind of generally meet in the middle here. Now, I'm going to grab both of these, hit copy again. Just moving these over a bit because I want this flat spot right here. And that'll just be one more block. I'm glad to hear that, Carl. Yeah, I wonder, a cool thing to see with the locals, you know, it's exciting when people say, you know, I'm building like their office or their neighborhood, stuff like that. That's what I love about building these real life cities. And it's also what, you know, really motivates me to try to get all the details. I had a comment recently, I think it was on Reddit, someone talking about like their car. They saw it on, they saw their like blue sedan in the back parking lot of one of the offices I built, and they're like, "Is that a blue car at like so-and-so like address?" And it's funny because I actually copied their own personal car over from Google Earth when I was building. Stuff like that I just think is like so much fun. Now, hopefully I can just lower this just a bit here. Now these circular assets are also great just because of the amount of vertices they have. You can hit a line here and make the straight line. I want to lower it a bit too. Carl, I do. That's one of the things I'm really excited for the transit revitalization of the city. I may not be able to detail the suburbs the same level that I'm doing downtown, but I do want to get all of the transit, set in the correct place and really have the city be a good simulation as well for, bringing some of those streetcars back possibly. The old Rochester subway is something that really drew me to the city in this build. And bringing some of that stuff back, I think would be really cool to see. Now, to build this kind of curved retaining wall here, I'm going to use a network. Clues has these really nice retaining walls, and if you watch my videos, I use them all the time. Just change the time of day here a little bit, make this easier to see. And I'm going to turn all of my snap 2s off. I'm just going to curve it after and move it, find it a little bit easier to do. Yeah, the population is super low for now. I am taking care to add residents wherever I do see residential in the city. But correct me if I'm wrong, especially the locals. I haven't really hit too many apartments yet or condos. A lot of downtown is still offices, and I've got some commercial, some shopping as well. But as I come across different residential buildings, I am trying to add the service blocks to keep the population realistic. I may have to adjust that later on though. Does anyone know off the top of their head what the population of downtown Rochester is? Because that would be super helpful. I did that for Pittsburgh, and I have most of the neighborhoods at their correct levels now. But I haven't gone through and done that for Rochester yet. Not a lot of residential downtown. Okay, that's good to know. Most of downtown is commercial. Yeah, I agree. I think that would be a good change. Get some more people living downtown where these shops are. Goes towards, that's part of, the zoning part of city revitalization. It's just getting people moved in to where the, major points of interest are. You've got your shopping, you've got your different uses downtown. Making more, affordable places to live downtown so people can actually live in the city should be a goal of, these cities going into the future. Especially with stuff picking up remote work. Some of these offices might be underutilized in the future. Turning those into affordable housing, even just condos, stuff like that, higher density uses, can do a lot for the city, bringing people back and increasing the tax base too, bring money into the city. This looks like it might be a little bit tough. Oh, hey Ryan, welcome. And according to the wiki, okay, 6,100 residents. I feel like in that case, yeah, I might have to make minor adjustments here and there, but I do have a lot of the downtown left to finish. So I'll have to keep an eye on that population number. I'm afraid I might even go over that now once I'm finished downtown, so I'll have to keep that in mind. Yeah, absolutely, Chase. That's kind of the name of the game here with revitalizing these cities. It comes from two ways, you know, it's transit, or I'm sorry, more than two. It's, you know, you got transit, you've got infrastructure itself, stuff like the inner loop, you know, making that more of a connection to the rest of the city grid instead of a big dividing line through downtown. And then you've got zoning. Those are the three most major, I would say, kind of factors when it comes to bringing these cities back to life. And that's not to say that Rochester is a dead city by any means. From my research and what I've known about the city now, I see really good progress coming from city planners and the government functions in the city. You know, it seems like they're on the right track. It's really cool to see these cities. Yeah, it's one of the things that drew me to the Rust Belt, is these cities, they went through their periods of decline. But, you know, these were major industrial cities back in like the 1800s, 1900s, early century. You know, they had their rise with industrialization for various different features. You know, Rochester has the Genesee River and Lake Ontario, making it really this prime location for industrial uses. You know, that's how the city was built. It was really built around that. But with the fall of industrialization, Rochester and a lot of cities in the Rust Belt kind of had this void to fill. You know, you see urban blight in these cities. Maybe Rochester not as much. But, you know, it's cool to see what can be kind of brought to these cities in the future, because there's a lot of room for improvement with the fall of industrialization. And as more people start to move to these cities in the Northeast, you know, you'll see the tax bases increase. They're able to take on more projects, and hopefully people, you know, start to learn about city planning and how it affects the places they live. So, you know, they can start to kind of demand from politicians the changes that they want to see. That's really where it comes down to. It's local politics, you know, getting involved in stuff like that. And just kind of, you know, fighting for the change you wish to see. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Harry's, yeah, these cities really are what America was built on. Back in early industrialization, like ages. I have to do something here about this entryway. Hopefully this is not too difficult. This might actually help with these odd windows on the side here too, hopefully. Hopefully Room Mike doesn't mind me kind of butchering their asset here. Making a lot of small adjustments. And that's gonna mess up the windows here in front. But might be able to do something about that. Yeah, we'll see if I can fix this up. But that might be a completely off-camera thing to do. So I'm wouldn't want to have these all be even, but I can already see that being quite tedious to do. But at least I have the doorway where I want it now on the ground level. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I have all the corporate presentations from GM. Okay, that's cool. Nice. Thank you, Rena. Appreciate that. Yeah, I know it's a little bit slower of a build today. I've said this a few times in the stream, but for those of you who have joined a little bit late or joined pretty recently here, I'm just kind of showing off my process a little bit more than I do in the videos. Live stream format is good for that. So a lot of work goes into building stuff like this in PO, and a lot of it has to get cut from the videos just to keep things kind of edited, you know, as tight as possible, make the videos more watchable. But it's a good opportunity to kind of show off what goes on behind the scenes here. A lot of different like surface assets and fiddling around with procedural objects goes into stuff like this. Tinum, thank you. Yeah, I didn't really see myself as a detailer until recently. You know, basically when I started this city. But I'm really enjoying taking my time with this one. Pittsburgh is at the point where I'm kind of working on the suburbs now and some of the outer parts of the city, so I'm not able to put the same like level of detail into it. So that's why I'm enjoying building Rochester lately. Just really able to go all in on the details. But I really only plan on doing this for downtown. Apple Maps and Google Maps. Yeah, I try to use a mixture of both. Google Maps, actually, I think it did recently get updated to like 2022, 2023 imagery. So it's a little bit more helpful than it used to be. But Apple Maps is nice in certain use cases as well. I like the transit features of Apple Maps now. Looking for like a grass filler decal here. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and use one of these circle. Got this like half or a quarter circle here. So that shouldn't be too difficult with PO. These have a ton of vertices, which make them a little bit easier to work with. But first, before I do anything here, let me line up the rotations. And now I can just grab these vertices and hit align. And maybe these two. Oop. A little bit of trial and error here to get the right things. That kind of works. It's a little bit sharper here, but maybe... Yeah, it's a little bit better. Thanks for joining, Demetrius. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Oh, you got your own premiere going on. Hey, definitely check out Demetrius's premiere. Is that Sinak Lake? Rochester, I definitely think, is on the up and up. More businesses moving back. Yeah, it's cool to see a city that's in the steps of progress. It'll be interesting to see what the city does in the next 20-25 years. Alright, that looks pretty good. Yeah, every city does need to do that kind of stuff. Step one is getting people on board, getting awareness out there for stuff like this. Gotta demand the change you want to see. Let's see if I have something here. Over here is the Gannett Newspapers building. Now this building is special, so I either want to try to take it on myself with 3D modeling or get that one commissioned. I might put something here just like as a stand-in, but yeah, that's something I'm really looking forward to building. See if I can find something just to kind of place there for now. But yeah, this is just a temporary asset for now. And this building here is interesting. Might have something industrial that could fit pretty well there. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Let's see. Should have something even better. This might not be bad if I recolor it a bit. I think I'll go with this just for now. If I'm correct, I think this one's by Lee TG3, another creator that I really enjoy their assets a lot. Use them all over the city. Maybe the other one's a little bit closer though. It's, of course, just temporary, so not too worried about getting it perfect right now. I just want half of this. Scale it down a little bit so it fits. Now I can just use a distort tool for the rest. Now that the rotations and everything are lined up, just work on the size of this building here. Grab these top 4. And this is actually just as tall as a building right next door, pretty much. Yeah, this is definitely not perfect, but for temporary, just getting the size of these buildings down. Let's see, this is definitely off the curve a little bit more here. Yeah, Max, PO is extremely powerful for this game. Would not be able to do builds like this without the mod. I might just make these a little bit bigger too, in relation to this one. See how I'm using the space here. Yeah, it looks like this takes up... Okay, we've got a little bit of an angle here, because this is straight on along the street. So I'm going to actually line up the rotation with this. And let me move that to where I want, first of all. Start with that. And there's just a little bit of a gap, so let's give it some breathing room here. Now I can focus on these buildings. The future Gannett newspaper asset, hopefully. What music am I playing? I'm actually not sure right now. It's a mix. I have a mix set up in OBS. Just playing the different music I've got that I usually play alongside for my videos. I get all my music nowadays from Epidemic Sound. It's like a kind of made for like YouTube creators. It's got a bunch of like royalty-free music and it's subscription based. I really recommend their music though. It's really good stuff. University of Rochester. Yeah, I think I am actually. So I'll show the map real quick, take a break. If I'm correct, the University of Rochester, yeah, so that's on this kind of bend in the river over here. Obviously, it's a little bit of ways from what I've been building so far, but it's in my map and I do have plans for it at some point. It's gonna be a fun build. Definitely going to be a challenging one too, with different buildings you see over here. I'm hoping I can use some of the university DLC assets for this build. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this campus. It looks really nice with the courtyard, quad, Eastman quad here. Some different like schools around it. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun build for sure. And this chapel over here is really interesting as well. I already have kind of an idea in mind of how I can take on this roof, but yeah, I'll have to wait a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm taking this build really slow, so it's good in the way that I'm able to get a lot of detail, but getting outside the city might be a little bit further on in the future. Just kind of taking each neighborhood very slowly here, just making sure I get all the details that I can capture. Now I'm going ahead and just delete this building, so I can just drag this one over again and use a distort tool one more time. Save some time here. And let's see how that looks. I guess, does this look like the right size? Oh, let me know in the chat, what do you think? Very work in progress here, but just trying to capture the size of this, like, Gannett newspaper, and I guess Iron Mountain building next to it? Record storage facility, that's interesting. That's what I'm working on right now. Let me know what you think. It's a good size. I'm probably just going to start working on surrounding areas here, if that looks like a good fit. It's one of the more challenging parts of these 1-1 builds, is just getting everything the correct size. One thing I could do is use the measurement tool in Google Earth, but that takes quite a bit of extra effort. Need to be a bit longer. Almost exact. Looks fine. Oh, wait, PO has some features that Blender doesn't have. Really? What kind of features? I'm interested now. Okay, if everyone thinks it looks pretty good, I'm happy with that. Like I said, it's just a placeholder for now, so I don't want to spend too much time just working on something that's not even going to last in the city. Like I said, this is Gannett Newspapers, and it's a pretty famous building downtown, so I do plan on getting this either commissioned or, when I get more skill with 3D modeling, trying to take it on myself. It's just got some really cool details. I'll show it off real quick in Street View. But you can see it's got this, not sure what you'd call this, but just some detail here in the, I guess maybe cornice? Someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, you've got this decorative like cornice here, and I'm not sure what you'd call this, maybe like, it's not a sculpture, but really intricate details. And I'm not quite talented enough to take that on yet. I feel like I'd probably just do that with like a bump map. But yeah, it'd be cool to see in-game, like in its full glory for sure. Instead of just, you know, some generic offices. The Google Earth tab in-game. If you're talking about this overlay right here, this is from the mod Image Overlay 2. Really helpful mod if you're trying to build a like real life area or like a road network, something like that. You can even use it in like small scale. I've seen people use it just to build like an interchange. So there's a lot of different uses for it. Pretty lightweight mod too. I don't think it really affects like the performance of the game in any way, which is nice. The line and line tool is missing, and the cage tool is much less usable. Yeah, that's above my head. I don't even know what the cage tool is. Not done yet. Easy model? Not for me, not quite. But yeah, if anyone's interested in taking that on, it's one of my commission list for sure. I'll even assist with it if you want, but yeah, I'm just not quite there yet, being able to take that all on myself. Yeah, I could probably do it, but it would take me so many hours, it would be ridiculous. Let me put in a little bit of extra detail here. I feel like I have this in a place where I want it now. I usually try to save these details for when I know things are kind of at least in the right spot. The distort tool. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Cage tool, distort. I understand. Cool. Might have some old photos of the... Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, if you do, I'd definitely be interested in seeing them. An 1890s road layout? That's pretty cool. Yeah, so many different uses for that mod. Yeah, I agree, Diana. Distort tool is one of my favorites. I wish I found it earlier. Huge time saver. Let's see if I can do something here. I can't make it any bigger than that. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to maybe PO this, if I can. And this will be a little bit easier than trying to do this with steps, hopefully. Oops, accidentally deleted the one in between. It's okay. Looks like it's just 3 steps here, and then maybe like a planter in the middle. Your house is not too far from here? Yeah, I might be getting to the suburbs pretty soon. Some of the suburbs, like over here, I've started building the road network on. Not sure if that's what you're talking about, but yeah, I'm excited to start getting some houses built here too. Been mostly just working on downtown so far. Let me turn off the roads here. I wasn't sure how much of this that I would be getting done in this video. These PO heavy builds can be quite time consuming. But hopefully everybody's enjoying seeing the process still. I'm gonna actually use my picker tool here. Don't want this to snap. Just draw it over here. Not sure what happened there, but grab it back. Tyler, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. Yeah, I usually don't promote on Reddit too much anymore, but it's nice that you saw through the Rochester subreddit. Really enjoy that community over there. They've been super supportive of the build I've been doing. It's cool seeing all the locals enjoying seeing their city built and city skylines. Really cool, just the whole community behind this game. It's really it's surprising because it's such an old game too, but it's still going very strong here. That's actually one of my surface networks underneath there. Move that. I don't think I need that actually, so just go ahead and delete that one. A lot of small details here. Let's see, do I want to add these stairs? That almost might be too much. Let's see if I can do it easily. Not a fan of how that one looks. I'll use the pedestrian network again. Those are nice stairs, but these fit a little bit better here. Yeah, I don't know if that looks right. They're gonna end up just being super steep and not looking quite right. Well, I guess this should be a ramp anyways. And then it has two sets of stairs next to it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip that detail. Sometimes you just have to make a few sacrifices, because if you try to go full, capture every single detail, we'll never complete this build. I'm sure there's some creators that could pull something like that off and do it nicely, but just with the amount of space we have here, it's going to be really difficult. I think I'll just finish this off with some bushes and maybe drag this network out. And it looks like we've got some type of tree here in the middle of these little steps. Okay, yeah, we've got some planters and looks like some bark. And then yeah, a small tree here. Some type of fruit tree maybe. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Appreciate the feedback as I'm building here. Put that right in the center, and then I'm going to add just a little one of these non-terrain conforming bark things. Planter props. That works pretty well. Let's start wrapping up this area. Been working on this front little loading dock for quite a while here, so go ahead and add a trailer truck here, or just a truck, I guess. Something like that. Like these because of the graffiti, a little bit of extra detail on them. And it looks like we've got like a substation or electrical box here. I like this asset because it actually does provide electricity too, which is kind of nice. Do try to keep my cities as functional as possible. Hey, welcome. Hello from Germany. Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining. Right now I'm just working on this kind of civic center area here. Very slowly going through and detailing it. This whole block was empty when I started. Yeah, just enjoying the heavy detailing I'm doing over here. One of the things I love about this Rochester build is that I decided to just go all in on the details with this one. Shrink that just a little bit here. That's pretty good. Right, and that might just about wrap up this area at this point. Just add a quick decal here to give it some more, I don't know, I guess grit, some more realism detail here. I'm just gonna lower this into the ground so it's not so dark. Yeah, what's everybody up to this weekend? Everybody having a good weekend so far? Oh, I'm glad to hear that, yeah. If anyone has like specific questions to City Skylines, just want some advice, tips on their city, or even feedback on their builds, the Discord's a great place for that. Sometimes I might not be able to reply personally, but we've got like I think we've almost got 500 members over there now, and the community's really great. Everybody's always willing to help, so I definitely recommend checking out the Discord. Now it looks like we've got the Civic Center garage here, right next to the Monroe County Civic Center. I want to keep using this building here, just for kind of consistency's sake. Let's see what we're working with here. Quite a bit thinner. Now, I don't want these windows to get too much smaller, so I'm going to take half of this building and hide it within the other half if I can. And it's so nice when things just work the first time. Just scaling it down a little bit so I get rid of that texture glitching. And it looks like we've got 3 rows of windows. Okay. That makes things a little bit more difficult, but we'll work with it. Let me see if I can just go back a few steps here. Nope, that's not gonna work. It's unfortunate because I got the exact move I wanted the first time. Let's see if this building has 3 rows of windows ready to go. Okay, cool. This will be easier to kind of work with here. Now again, I don't want to make these windows smaller, so I'm going to have to just kind of line it up, grab half of it. Check it on the other side too, just in case. Cool, That looks good enough. Yeah, that's what I don't want to see. Oh, but thankfully it's hidden. Okay, so that makes this a little bit less problematic. That's fine with me. You're not going to be seeing this side in-game. So what's more important is this side. This side, of course, which I'll have to fix up a bit. And then this side is also going to be important. Need 3 sets of windows on each side. So yeah, I'll have to fix this up a little bit. Hey, comrade, welcome. Working on a very PO-heavy build here. The Civic Center, Monroe County buildings. Using a lot of PO to build these. It's been a fun build so far. Not sure why this is being hidden. If I could just maybe grab a few of these. Might get lucky here. Nice. Hopefully I can do the same over here. That works good enough. Let's see here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 windows. So I can hide some of this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. Collection of all my assets. I don't have that yet. I do have a mod collection, but I haven't gotten around to making an asset collection yet. I have about 8,000, maybe going on 9,000 assets, so it's a little bit more difficult to organize that. Even using like the quick methods, I'd have to do like 1,000 at a time, so I've just kind of been focusing my time into the builds. Maybe at some point I will create an asset collection though. There is one already out there for Pittsburgh that actually it has most of the assets that I use in both cities. I'll have to share that on the Discord because that could be really helpful. I just haven't gotten around to making one myself personally. Hey Moch, welcome back. Yep, making some progress here, slow but steady. This terminal building is pretty interesting. I think one of Mac Welshman's assets could work pretty well here. Go ahead and put that down. It's always nice to get some buildings down. See, does this fit well? Yeah, that's perfect. Be nice if I could get this little corner here. Maybe I'll do that with PO. We'll see. Yeah, I try to, at least in the videos I put out, the episodes, I try to call out all the assets that I use, like, as I use them. So, definitely keep an eye out for the captions at the bottom of the videos. If there's any assets you like that I use in the episodes, you should be able to find them through that. But yeah, an asset list would definitely be helpful. I'll see if I can get on that soon. Again, using the distort tool here. That was pretty good. Let's see about the height here. So, one thing I like to use in Google Earth is whatever your cursor hovers over, that will give you the actual elevation in meters in the bottom right hand corner of Google Earth. So right now I can see West Broad Street here at the base train level, that's 154 meters. The top of this building here is 182. So if I just take 182 from 154, you can see that this building is 28 meters tall. So one trick I like to use is in Find It, you have these different categories. Building height, I'm just going to go ahead and put in 26 and a max of 29. And that will find me something pretty much exactly the height I need. So this is 28 meters tall. Perfect. So I'm just going to place this down right next to it, and that will give me a good idea of exactly how tall this building needs to be. So now I can just go into the customization tool, or I'm sorry, this is the general tool. Bring that down to the exact height that I need. That's one of the many tricks I use for realism with this build, and also my Pittsburgh build. I'm pretty happy with the results of this one here. Just maybe a little bit more distortion and PO, but this is pretty much the shape I was looking for. Color as well is pretty good, so this is one of those I might just leave as is. Of course I will have to put a surface black in there, but it's nice. Some of these aren't so difficult to create. Making you want to play CS, but you got a paper to write. Understand that. Good luck on the paper. City Skylines is just one of those games. Alright, so here's a little overview of kind of what I've done so far. Walking through here, so we've got the Civic Center Courtyard, which I haven't quite started yet. I've just done the stairs and kind of the front facade for going up into the park, the courtyard. Hey, Toby. I'm just giving a little overview of the progress I've done. You've joined at a great time. So I've been working on this Civic Center over here, and some government buildings, stuff like that, slowly going through and detailing it. Some of these are just temporary stand-in assets, but started off by building this kind of courtyard over here. If you can see that in the cutout at the top right. And slowly going through and just detailing the front over here on Exchange Boulevard. And then over here, a few stand-in assets I'm just kind of putting down to get a feel of what's in this place. This is something I do plan to either commission or try to build myself later on in Blender. But this is the Gannett Newspapers building. And then most recently, I just put down this terminal building next door. Let's see what this is. The terminal building, it's an apartment building. Okay, so that will be another opportunity to get some Sims moving in here. Hey, welcome Hunter. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, it's been a slow one, just kind of going through and building what I can here. Really showing off all the steps that I do in PO for this. Something that I don't really get to do in the videos, because a lot of that gets edited out. But now I'm going to try to make some good progress here on this courtyard. Got kind of the area of it here on OpenStreetMaps, which is nice. But in the very start of the stream, my first step here was lowering the terrain level, making it flat, because I don't want to mess with that in-game. The terrain tools are quite finicky. I'd rather build it all out myself. So my next step here is just getting some decals down at the correct height. It looks like it's kind of this reddish concrete, so that's what I'm going to try to go with here. Got these like concrete kind of blocks. Let's see kind of what we're working with here. So many good decal assets on the workshop. Makes it hard to choose from sometimes. Kind of looking for something with larger tiles here. Worst case scenario, I will go with, I think it's not pavement, but like the sidewalk texture should work pretty well. Yeah, thanks, Toby. Yeah, the placeholders there. Yeah, just kind of getting them down for the size. But I appreciate that. Yeah, do try to get them looking somewhat correct. Might as well. Yeah, here, I'm just gonna go ahead and go with pavement texture. Unless, does this work? Oh, actually, this might work pretty well. See if I can raise it up. Okay, perfect. So I am going to have to put down... Yeah, actually, I know a better way to do this. Instead of doing all of that, there's these surface assets I can use. Now, you'll notice that the texture is not what I want off the bat, but that's okay. I can actually change that with procedural objects later on. First step is just getting it to the right height. Wyatt, that is from the SCT Homecoming theme by Rafa. Highly recommend that theme. Adds a lot of detail. They're all 4K textures as far as I know. So it's definitely for definitely better on like higher end systems, I'd say. But if you're looking for a really detailed theme, I highly recommend it. Yeah, so now these kind of brick surfaces, not what I want material-wise, but I have these procedural object textures downloaded. I should have one that works better. Just looking for large tiles. be a real shame if I don't have something. All of these different textures here. I might just end up going with this one. That's not too bad. Yeah, of course. I'm always happy to help with that kind of stuff. Yeah, SCT Homecoming, that's almost all the theme that I use. I think the only thing different is I have like a custom watercolor, and I might like change some of the like what is it? Suburb pavement might work. I'll check that out real quick. But yeah, I just changed some of the colors of the themes maybe at most. That's pretty much it. Am I able to change the color of this? That's the question. I'm not. Okay. Yeah, okay, let me try out that suburb pavement. Thank you for the suggestion, Mr. Harries. Try that out. Yeah, I think that is the best bet. Is this something that I can change the color of? Yes, okay, perfect. Okay. So in that case, I'm just going to draw these out, not worry about the texture yet. Get the shape, and then I'm going to cover them up with this suburb decal. I think these are by Hockenheim 95, if I'm correct. Might want to drag that over just a bit. Yeah, it's gonna glitch. Just bring it down ever so slightly so it doesn't have that texture glitching. That actually clues me into that this building is not straight. I'll have to adjust that. Back to getting these lined up. I can kind of use this view real quickly to see how far this plaza goes out. You can kind of see the edge of it here on the map. That works out perfectly. All the way out here. Mess with that a little bit later. This is where I want it to start coming down. These don't line up perfectly, but I'll be coming back to fix that anyways. The first things I need to do is these are a little bit too wide. So I'll just grab one of these. That looks about right. Now to keep this symmetrical, I'm just going to grab the one I just worked on, bring it over here. These are also a bit thinner, so just do one of them. That looks about right. Thank you, thank you. Hey, I hope you have a good rest of your day. And just about done with this part. There are these paths in the middle, but first I'm just going to place down some grass at this higher elevation now, get everything raised up to the right level that I want it to. Using Control H to get it to the right height, and then Control R to get the rotation right. Two of my favorite and most used shortcuts for procedural objects. Now I can just copy and paste this over. And with these texture surfaces, you don't have to worry about the Z fighting as much, which is nice. Z fighting is when things are on the same plane, specifically the vertical plane. You'll see some texture distortion because the game doesn't know which one to render on top when things are exactly the same height. You can see it happening over here a little bit. So one way to do that is just to hold Control and then drag something down on the Z-axis just ever so slightly. And that will get rid of any of what's called Z-fighting. Yeah, much cleaner now. Now that that's done, let's see here. Looks like this should actually come a little bit further in to the stairs. So I might just grab these here. All of these actually. Copy them. Bring it out just a little bit further. quite a bit of fiddling now. But nearly there. Yeah, this is going to be difficult. I think I'm just going to have to drag this up to match with that. It's going to be a little bit thicker, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you see what I might have done wrong there. It's starting to get a little bit messy, but start cleaning it up a bit here. Lower this ever so slightly. And now I can finally use those, I think it's suburb pavement. Thank you for the recommendation, Mr. Harris. I think these are going to be perfect actually here. Especially since I'm able to color them. Just have to get them at the right height. Place a few of these down, and then I'm going to use the copy and paste feature. Using these pavement assets I've already put down as a guide here. It's a little bit messy. I can't live with that. That's a little bit better. Bring these together now. Let's see here what I can do about this stuff. I'm gonna get rid of PO and surfaces, so I can just grab these decals. Grab everything at once here. Now I can grab everything here. Make sure I get rid of props. Get rid of everything except for these decals. color them all at once, now that I'm kind of finished here. Really light pale pink. That works pretty well. Some stuff to clean up, of course, like over here. But it's pretty good for now. Let's see. Yeah, slowly making progress here. It's been so long since I've saved, so probably a good time to do that now. Hopefully this saves okay. A little bit of lag here. And there it is. Always hold my breath a little bit when it saves, especially when I go that many hours without saving. Here's a little overview of what's been built so far. Trying to keep things as high detail as possible here. This is downtown, and this is the highest detail area of the build. So working on the Civic County Courtyard over here, or Civic Center Courtyard, and some of these county buildings, Monroe County, government functions, this Gannett newspaper building. Stand-in for now, that one will be replaced. And these apartments over here, also known as the Terminal Building. A little bit left to finish up for this block, but pretty happy with the progress made on the stream so far. I think I will be wrapping up the stream, at least the build here, pretty shortly. So, if anyone has any things they want to see around the city, I'd just take a quick break here and do a bit of a city tour. Show off a little bit of Rochester here. And yes, that was the first save today. That was... I turned off autosave quite a while ago because with procedural objects especially, it takes forever to save sometimes and it lags. But the problem with that is I have to remember to actually save. That was the first save I've done in this entire stream, so I got lucky that it actually saved there. That's not good on my part. But thankfully everything was alright. Didn't lose any progress. Everything is saved from today, which is nice. Because, yeah, pretty much solid 2 hours of building done here just to get this little tiny area, not even a full block finished. But that's the way things go with procedural objects and placing all of these networks and stuff like that, especially with these multi-tiered builds. Yeah, honestly, not done yet. Some real luck there. Thank you, Handles us. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. Katina, this is the mural I'm using over here. It's from one of the packs on the workshop. If you notice in real life, hopping down a street view, there is a mural in this building. Really interesting. I wanted to try to grab the real life mural. I've done that with a few different ones in Rochester. But unfortunately, there's always like some signage in the way, or these light poles, and that would be translated into the game. So, maybe when I get a little bit better at Photoshop, I can kind of get these like end roadwork signs out of here, this pole. It would be cool to get the actual mural into game. But for now, I just have this blue one here from one of the packs on the workshop. Still a really nice pack. No complaints about them at all. It's just, I do try to go for a higher level of detail with murals now, especially knowing how to grab like real life images. I did that over here for the John Lewis mural, a little bit further down, I believe this is State Street. Yeah, State Street. More recent mural, I think this was painted sometime in 2020. But I actually was able to grab this straight from a picture online. Not sure, I guess, yeah, Google Street View is a little bit overzealous with the censoring of faces. Very obviously a mural over here, but you have to go to the right angle to see it. But yeah, try to grab this and get the real life mural in game. I did that in the last episode of Rochester. Hopefully I can get a tutorial out on that soon, how to do that. I'm not using autosave for 3 years. Oh yeah, timer is a good idea. Yeah, 100%. Just to make sure I would probably set it myself somewhere around 30 minutes to an hour. Any more than that, losing progress of more than an hour, that hurts. I've been there before, and it's super discouraging to lose that much work, so I need to be more careful about that. If I lost 3 hours of work today, I'd be pretty upset. Which road is the one that used to be a freeway? If Seabass the Great, if I'm understanding you correctly, I think you're talking about over here, this road over here used to be part of the Inner Loop Expressway. Let me hop over there in Google Earth too. You can see this freeway scar over here, it's South Union Street. But they dug this up pretty recently and infilled it. If you hop down into Street View, you can see a lot of new condos being built here. Yeah, a lot of new housing. And unfortunately, I don't think it's affordable housing. I think these are, your typical luxury condos. But even still, it's great to see progress in a city like this. The Inner Loop Expressway is one that is definitely, the city outgrew it. It's good to see what used to be just freeway that was probably underutilized become more housing, get more people living downtown, create these more walkable, more attractive neighborhoods. Your hometown won most beautiful mural of the year. That's awesome. I know, if I remember right, you're over in the Netherlands. Beautiful country. That's really cool that they won most beautiful mural of the year. That's awesome. 1 hour timer, lost 3 hours of work once before. That's rough. Carl, thank you. I appreciate the clarification there. So some of them are affordable units built on the strip here, but most of them are market rate. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, usually there's like requirements for developers nowadays if they want to develop new developments. There's usually requirements in there for a certain percentage of it to be affordable housing. And it's a good system, but in reality, sometimes it is abused because you'll see these affordable units being built elsewhere. And that's kind of a loophole that's used sometimes, is where, you know, it says you need to, like, there's a requirement for maybe 20% of the units to be affordable, but they'll just build it in a different neighborhood. So it's nice that, you know, there actually is affordable affordable units on what's basically, I don't know if you'd consider it the outskirts of downtown, but it's like right outside the downtown core. Parker, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, it's nice to see progress, but, you know, it's always, it's a balance between seeing progress in development and gentrification. You know, there has to be concessions made, or not even concessions, but, you know, it's just, you have to build in mind with what people can afford. You know, you don't want to price your residents out when you're building these new developments. It's great to have new developments come to the city, you know, it's progress, but if it's not done well, it's just going to price current residents out and create a scenario where, even more so, people are going to have to flee to the suburbs, the outer lying areas of the city, to be able to afford to live there. So bringing more affordable units into the city is definitely a goal that's, I believe these cities should take on. In Dallas, yeah. Yeah, Dallas is getting more and more expensive from what I've seen. Tyler, yeah, I think I missed in the chat earlier when we were talking about commissions, but if you're talking about I think it's the Strong Museum of Play, that is a really interesting building over there. And it's cool that it's becoming more walkable now because of the infill that happened with the freeway being removed. You know, just creating these neighborhoods that are more enjoyable to live in and be around. But yeah, I'm excited to get over to that area soon too. I think I will be calling it a day here on the stream pretty soon here, but if anyone has any like last minute questions or anything, you know, they want to see, let me know. It's been a really fun build today, and always enjoy hopping in the chat with the community over here. Decentralization. What do you mean by that? Not done yet. Can you explain? I kind of understand what you mean with the word, but you know, how does this fit in? Are you meaning with like gentrification, like pushing people out of the cities, pricing people out? Like where are you going with that? Just went on a walk around Deep Ellum recently. Yeah, a place for rich people to hang out. Yeah, that's the problem with the wrong type of development, you know? But yeah, I think I'm gonna be wrapping up the stream here pretty shortly. But if anyone has, you know, some last minute questions or things they want to see, just let me know. I'm happy to show off anything in the city, but I'll set you guys up with some good views here. Always love talking about urban planning and, you know, how we can make our cities a little bit better, a little bit nicer to live in. That's kind of the whole goal of these series, get people talking about urban planning in your own cities, you know, where you live. Tavi, of course, yes, always fun to stream. Thank you for joining. Glad you're able to make it. For anyone that doesn't know, Tavi is also a streamer on Twitch. Definitely check them out. I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to hop and get a city tour from them once. Really nice city they have. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Really fun once again. Got some more building done than I did in the holiday stream, but always nice to interact with the community around this game. Thanks, Demetrius. Appreciate that. I hope the premiere went well. I'll have to watch the new episode of Snack Lake when I get a chance here. Been liking that series as well. I'll set you all up with a nice view of the waterfall here. High Falls in Rochester, one of the more scenic areas of the city in my opinion. And of course, yeah, this shout-out is well-deserved. And Demetrius, yes, I'm glad you were able to make both the start and the end. true dedication there. Really appreciate everyone showing up today. All the fellow content creators, City Skylines enjoyers. Really great community around this game. Really motivates me to keep going and keep building. So appreciate you all. Parker, yes, thank you. It did. Went very well. Got to see some great public transport. I got a little bit of video, and maybe I might put a video together. You know, something in the form of, if you watch like City Nerd or Not Just Bikes, they put out some great urbanist content. But yeah, I got to check out a few European cities, Western Europe, Rome, the Netherlands, went all over the Netherlands, got to see Utrecht, Rotterdam, Amsterdam, of course, and the transit out there and the urbanism, it's just top notch. I'd love to make a video. My fiance and I, we rode every form of public transit out there. And it's amazing. You can really go anywhere. We went all the way out to Kinderditch to see the windmills using just public transport. So it's really awesome. And then you have different cities, you know, different levels of transit out there. Paris also had some really great transit. The metro in Paris gets you just about anywhere you need to go. And then they've also got like inner city rail. Takes you to kind of like the downtown area as well as the airport, Charles de Gaulle airport, stuff like that. And then all the way down to Rome. Now, Rome doesn't have bad public transport, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they have a bad transit system, but, you know, it would beat anything you'd see in America other than maybe the top 3 cities. But it is definitely more dated, and that could just be due to the history of the city. It's an older city. But yeah, it only has like 2 metro lines. While we were there, the trams were on strike, so we used a lot of just buses to get around. And for me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of bus transit. I think that, you know, cities could find better ways, but it worked to get us around. I used a little bit of micro mobility stuff over there, like scooters. Scooters are kind of a love it or hate it type of item in cities, but they do work well for like the in-between, getting like from point A to point B, getting to the bus line, stuff like that. And then London, of course, has the tube. Yeah, somewhere in the middle of all of them, I would say London has solid transit network, but you know, it does face delays. The stations are quite hot. Yeah, it sounds like I'm complaining, it sounds like I'm nitpicking when London has a better transit system than most of America, but you know, it's things you notice after going to the Netherlands, which is just amazing as far as transit. And one day I hope, you know, maybe I can visit even like Switzerland and stuff like that and see like the amazing trains they have out there. But it's just really cool to see, change of perspective, you know. 2 weeks over there, never once was in a car, just always transit everywhere, which is really nice. Born just about 10 kilometers. Oh, nice. Really beautiful out there. I love seeing the countryside out in the Netherlands. If you ever get a chance to go to the Netherlands, make sure you get out of Amsterdam. Check out the smaller cities, check out the countryside. There's a lot to see. If you're an architecture nerd like me, Rotterdam is great for that. Deacon, welcome. I'm just wrapping up the stream here now, but glad you're able to make it. Just answering any questions that people have real quick, but it was a great stream and I was happy to get out here again and go live with one of these cities. Rome, New York only has buses. Yeah, it's funny. I've said this before. I've actually never been to Rochester. I've very rarely been to Western New York at all. I've been to Buffalo a few times. I've been to Niagara Falls. But I gotta check out Albany. I really gotta check out Rochester, Rome, these smaller cities out here. Because one, I want to get more like pictures and videos, reference material, and two, I want to get my feet on the ground, check out the city, really see what's going on, get a feel for everything. Because Google Earth is great, Apple Maps is great, but you really can't get a good feel for the city until you actually go there yourself. So I'm hoping one day I can make a visit out there. Arnhem is beautiful. Hope I pronounced that right, Arnhem. Yeah, that's one I did not get to check that out. Groningen is another place I want to check out if I ever get the time to go back. These smaller cities are just, they look so awesome. Deacon, almost went to the University of Rochester. That's awesome. Ran away from the snow. Yeah, totally understand that. Yeah, I think, I don't know if Rochester got it, but I know there's a huge blizzard that came through Buffalo. You really got to be tolerant of the snow if you're moving up there. Vail, Colorado, most walkable city I've seen in America. That's interesting. I've never been to Vail. I've been to Summit County. Did some skiing in Colorado a few years ago. And those mountain towns are awesome. Never been to Vail personally, but yeah, that's cool. I mean, I can see it being like this kind of walkable utopia in the mountains. You know, there's some walkable cities in America that you definitely wouldn't expect to see. They're usually the older cities. You've got some cities on the East Coast like that. And then you got some surprising ones out there too, like Ann Arbor, pretty walkable, pretty nice, dense city. Or town, depending on how you define it. Greenville, Texas. Yeah, Texas is one I need to check out more of too. I've been to Dallas. I used to live in Texas when I was really young. Allen, Texas, if anyone's familiar. But I need to go back there, it's been too long. But yeah, I guess, you know, it's a little bit after 3 o'clock today, so I'm going to just wrap up the stream. But once again, thank you everybody for coming out today and joining the chat. Really appreciate everybody's support. And if you enjoyed the stream today, you know, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe. We'll have more episodes coming out shortly. Taking on Kodak campus soon. Also working on the city of Pittsburgh. But yeah, if you like today's stream, feel free to give it a like. Yeah, and hopefully I can put more stuff out like this soon. But really appreciate everybody's support. Hope everybody has a great day. Thanks again.